we talked about like space missions कब से शुरू हुए. Okay, when the age of space exploration is started, it started when Russia launched its first ever artificial
Yes, sir.
satellite, that is Sputnik 1, in the year 1957.
Yes, sir.
Okay, after that, several missions have been sent to different places in the universe. Okay, we talked about
Yes,
what are celestial bodies. Astronomy क्या होता है? Astronomy is simply the branch of science in which we study about those celestial bodies.
hmm.
Celestial bodies are nothing but all the planets, all the stars, all the asteroids, meteoroids, stars,
Yes, sir.
galaxies, everything. Okay, we have
Hmm.
talked about the different phases of the moon. Interestingly, one thing was skipped. ये बीच में skip हो गया था. Okay, like you know what is mass and what is weight. There's a difference between the two. Hmm?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
दोनों के बीच में थोड़ा difference है. Mass is simply what? It is how much an object contains. How much an object contains. While weight
Hmm.
is the force exerted on a mass by gravity. Like your body has got some mass, my body has got some mass. हर एक
Yes,
object
sir.
की अपनी एक mass होती है. And each of the object is being attracted by the center of the earth by a force. And that
Yes, sir.
force is called as gravity.
Gravity.
That is gravity. Okay. So mass will be remaining constant. Mass
Hmm.
हमेशा constant होगा. Because how much of matter is present in our body or in any other body, whether it's a living or non-living, that is fixed. Hmm?
Yes,
So
sir.
whether the person goes to the the polar region on the earth, whether he goes to Antarctica, or whether he goes to the South Pole, or whether he's at the equator, no matter at which place he or she is standing, his mass will remain constant. ये change नहीं
Yes,
होता है.
sir. Yeah.
So it does not changes with location. Walaikum Assalam. Okay. Talking about weight, weight is not constant. Why? If you were to look at the shape of the earth, it's not completely spherical. It is
Hmm.
bulging outwards like this.
Yes, sir.
It's not perfect spherical, it's like this. A little bit oval shaped. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now why is it so? Because one of the primary reason for this is that the force of gravity on poles are much more than the force of gravity on the equator.
Hmm.
ये हमारा
Yes, sir.
equator है. This line is the equator. People
Hmm.
who are living in this region are said to be living in the equatorial region.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and see this here is the north pole and the south pole.
Hmm.
So if someone were to stand on the north pole here and on the south pole there, the force of gravity is little bit more. थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा है force of gravity. That's
Yes, sir.
why just imagine like you have a watermelon in your hand. Okay, and usually the shape of the watermelon, if it's not perfect, or simply just suppose now you have got a balloon, complete round balloon. If you were to compress it from top and from bottom, its shape will deform a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Getting what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Take a inflated balloon, push it from the north and southern side, from the top and the bottom side. Its size will expand from the sideways. Same thing
Hmm.
has happened here in the case of Earth as well. इस example से हम समझ सकते हैं कि Earth में क्या हुआ होगा. So here the force of gravity on North Pole and the South Pole, basically the polar regions में force of gravity थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा होती है. Thereby,
Hmm.
the shape of the Earth is like this. Getting it, Arham, Arhan, Ahmed,
Yes,
Ahmed,
sir.
Arhan, you guys are here or not?
Yes, sir.
So, hmm,
Yes, sir.
okay. So weight is not a constant. Why? Because हमने weight की definition पढ़ी है. It is the force exerted on a mass by gravity. Okay, so it is not constant because the force exerted on any object differs from place to place. On the equatorial region, it will be lesser, while on the
Yes, sir.
polar region, it will be slightly more. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I said weight is not constant क्योंकि हमारा force of attraction जो है, force of gravity change होता है from place to place.
Yes, sir.
And how do we calculate force? Force of weight basically हम weight की यहाँ पर बात कर रहे हैं.
Newton, sir. Newton is the
Hmm.
SI unit.
Weight equals to mass into gravity. Weight
Hmm.
equals
Yes.
mass times
Gravity.
gravity, right? So mass तो हमारा constant है. For example, if you were to stand on the आप equatorial region में present है, there your mass is same. Now if you
Hmm.
were to present at the polar region, there also your mass remains same now. But
Yes, sir.
gravity, just by slight amount, it will decrease. Thereby,
Hmm.
your weight will also differ while
Yes, sir.
mass remains same. So that is the thing. Now, since हमने moon की बात की थी ना, and I said that the force of gravity on moon is one
Is
sixth of
1/6.
force of gravity on Earth.
Oh,
So
yes, sir.
suppose okay, further move on करने से पहले कुछ और चीजें important हैं. Like what is the unit of mass? It is kilogram,
Yes, sir.
and the unit of weight is Newton.
Yes, sir.
Newton.
Okay, that is Newton. Okay, so if your weight on Earth is 50 kilogram, or let's say 110 lb, or weight is 490 Newton on Earth. Okay, if the same person were to move to moon, then
Yes, sir.
you see, if you were to see the mass of the person, it
Yes,
remains
sir.
same here as well, 50 kilogram.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
it remains same. But if I were to talk about the weight of that person, it becomes
Yes, sir.
1/6. So
Yeah.
1/6 of 490 Newton will be how much? 490 upon 6. That is almost 6 eighths of 48. Approx 82 Newton.
Yes,
ठीक
sir.
है?
Yes, sir.
Approx 82 Newton. Getting it now?
Yes,
Forget
sir.
these two figures. ये wrong values. Okay. So we get to see that the mass of the person, that is 50 kilogram, it remains same whether the person stands on Earth or whether the person is standing on
Sir,
the moon.
the SI
Hmm.
unit will be same for mass and weight.
No,
Newton.
no, no. SI unit for mass and weight, no, they are different now. SI unit, okay, yeah, that will be same now. अगर आप
Okay.
mass की calculation कर रहे हैं आप moon पर भी, okay, for there it's not like you will not develop a different set of measurement rules. Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So 50 kilogram is the mass on the Earth as well as on the moon also. While the weight that was 490 Newton, it became just 1/6. That is 82 Newton. Hope that is clear.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Several things we have discussed so far. In today's class, we will be discussing we will be beginning our discussion with the solar system. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. The solar system. Okay. Yeah. By the way, one constellation was left there, no?
Sir, we can
I
start.
guess no,
Cassiopeia.
sir.
We have covered that,
Yeah.
no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, guys, do tell me before we move on, what are the differences between a galaxy and a constellation? दोनों के बीच में क्या फर्क होता है?
Sir, a
Sir, can I
galaxy.
tell?
Okay.
Okay, one by one, each of you will mention some points. You tell me. Arhan, starting from you.
Sir, a galaxy is a collection of many billions of stars, meanwhile, constellations are a collection of bright stars, few bright stars.
Okay, good. So first point is collection of billions of stars, but not only stars. Apart from stars, it consists of
Constellation.
Yes, sir.
almost all the
Yes, sir.
celestial bodies. Now,
Yes, sir.
so it consists of asteroids. It consists of
Meteors,
planets, meteoroids.
comets.
Exactly.
Black hole.
Hmm. Okay. The stars. Okay, we have included that. Right now, these are the things that are found in galaxy. While a constellation is just a group of
A group of stars
stars. So it's
from the
just
different planets.
group of stars. Okay. What else? What else do we notice? Any other differences? Yes. Yes, Arhan, you tell me. Ahmed or Arham, you can also mention some more points.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes. At least there has to be one more point. और भी differences हो सकते हैं.
Sir, the amount of galaxies are way lesser than stars in a constellation.
The number of galaxies are lesser than the number of stars.
Yes, sir. The constellation, sir.
The
The amount of
constellations.
yes, sir.
Okay, if you were to look at it in that manner, na look, देखो, the thing is that galaxies, it's estimated that almost there are 10 raised to the power 11 galaxies.
Yes,
If you
sir.
were to put 11 zeros with 10, that is the total number of galaxies. Okay,
Yes,
so if you were to see, it's just, if you were to just talk about galaxy and constellation in terms of a star only, हम अगर asteroid की बात नहीं करते, planets, meteorites, comets, leave them all. So it's just a group, it's just a topic, and then constellation is just like a subtopic in it.
yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the thing here. Okay, na
The
guys.
galaxies are created naturally, meanwhile we created the constellations.
Yes, guest galaxies are.
The galaxies was made naturally, meanwhile constellations are is a visualization of our human.
Exactly. Constellations are mere visualizations. Okay, where
Yes,
we give pictures and patterns to the group of stars, while
yes, sir.
you don't have such visualizations for the galaxies, right?
Yeah.
So that point can also be added here right now. Okay, so let's begin with the new topic today, that is the solar system. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, so solar system, it starts from Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Pluto is not considered
Not
as
a
a
planet.
planet. Okay, because the
Dwarf planet.
dwarf planet size and mass required to be to fit in the criteria of planet, it does not meet it. Interestingly enough,
Yes, sir.
we get to see that the total surface area of Pluto is in fact smaller than the total surface
Yes,
area
sir.
of Russia.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, now.
sir.
Now, if you guys remember in the beginning of the class, I told you like how we know कि sun के around सभी planets orbit कर रही हैं, और the planets are orbiting around the sun, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
From west to east, all the planets are orbiting around the sun,
Yes, sir.
but
Yes,
Except for
sir.
Venus and Uranus.
except for Venus and Uranus, they move in the clockwise direction, while all the other planets move in the anti-clockwise direction.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
sir.
So look here, the thing is now, none of the body in the universe, it is not stationary. None of the bodies are stationary in the universe. Every body is basically moving. So
Yes, sir.
look here, the star here is also moving like this. It is also
Yes, sir.
doing
It's
revolution.
revolving around the Milky Way.
Exactly. So this sun here is also doing revolution. Okay, it is also moving in the further direction, and likewise you can see all the planets are just spiraling around it, and they are also moving in the further direction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the planets are doing they are orbiting the sun, as well as along with the sun, they are doing revolution in the Milky Way galaxy also, right now. Like हमारा सन है कि मिल्की वे गैलेक्सी का रिवॉल्यूशन कर रहा है, and the planets, they are revolving around it. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
different planets are revolving around it, and as the sun moves ahead, along with the sun, all the planets also moves ahead. Now someone asks, why it doesn't happen that a planet leaves its orbit? ऐसे
Sir,
क्यों
it's
नहीं
gravitational
होता है?
pull.
Exactly, because the principle is that every two body attracts each other. Suppose I have two things here, two pens here
Yes,
in my
sir.
hand. Both of them will be exerting a pressure, exerting a force on each other. Both
Yes,
of them
sir.
will be trying to attract each other. But the
Yeah.
reason why we don't see them coming together, coming into
It's for
contact,
US.
because the magnitude of force is extremely small.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but suppose if you have got a body, a giant body, and a very tiny body close to it. Okay, an extremely giant body. Okay,
Yes, sir.
when I say I'm talking about planetary size body,
So it
planetary,
bends the fabric of the space.
yes.
It bends the fabric of the space depending upon the
Hmm,
planet
hmm,
or star's
hmm,
mass.
hmm. Exactly. So if you were to have, if you have a, had were to have a very gigantic size body, then it will be attracting the smaller bodies. So we say that in another terms, we say that the force of gravitation of this body is much more than the force of gravitation of the another body.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
the field of gravitation of this larger body is much more than the field of gravitation of the smaller body. Thereby, it exerts a force of pull. So same is the case in the case of solar system also. The
Yes,
sun
sir.
attracts all the body towards itself with the force of gravitation. Okay then.
Yes,
So
sir.
now we know what is the direction in which the planets along with the sun is moving. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now before we discuss about each and every planet in detail, here are a few interesting points I would like you guys to have a look at. For example,
Yes, sir.
Mercury. It says I am Mercury. I'm the smallest planet and closest to the sun. कुछ ऐसे facts हैं, like you all guys know about this, right?
Yes,
बचपन
sir.
से आप पढ़ते आ रहे हैं. Venus, I am the hottest planet in the solar system. You know why
Yes,
Venus
sir.
is the hottest planet in the solar system? Because of
Sir,
its
due to the
So
amount of
since
carbon
it has
dioxide
no atmosphere,
causing greenhouse effect.
look, it has got atmosphere. Okay, its atmosphere is thick and has got carbon dioxide and methane gas in it.
Yes, sir.
so
Okay.
another reason is that the uh,
Hmm.
Venus gravitational magnitude is low and it cannot protect against sun radiation.
Exactly. That is also the case with the Venus. Okay. Then Earth, we all know about it. I am
Yes, sir.
Mars. I am really dusty and cold with a thin atmosphere.
It has
Okay.
iron oxide on its soil.
Iron oxide on its wall that gives it a red color.
Yes, sir.
Then comes Jupiter. I'm twice the size of other planets, so they call me giant. I'm Saturn. I'm surrounded by a series of ice rings. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then you have got the Uranus. I rotate on a tilt, so I look like I'm sideways. Okay. Then there's a
Yes, sir.
Neptune. I'm the smallest gas giant and farthest from the sun. There are two planets which are completely frozen.
Hmm.
दो planets
Yes, sir.
ऐसे हैं हमारे solar system में
Neptune is
hmm, which are completely frozen. Getting it now?
Hmm.
I believe this is basically Saturn and Neptune. Okay.
Hmm.
Now,
Yes,
if you
sir.
were to talk about the temperature of the different planets, now these temperatures are the average temperature. ये average temperature है.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not
Yes, sir.
temperature of any specific place of that planet. Okay, it's the average of all the average temperature of that planet. For example, if you were to look at the temperature of Venus, that is 870 degrees Celsius. Okay,
Yes, sir.
then Mercury, it's 800 degrees Celsius. Okay, so Mercury, it has got the temperature of 800 degrees Celsius. Why? Because it has got almost no atmosphere to retain the heat. Okay, it has
yes,
surface
sir.
temperature that vary diurnally more than on any other planet in the solar system. So its temperature varies. Okay, so its temperature varies a lot. Okay, then Earth, it's 60 degree. So you know that it's not the temperature. It when I say the temperature of Earth is 60 degree, it's the average temperature of the whole Earth. Okay, now average temperature of
Yes,
the
sir.
atmosphere of the Earth. It does not mean that if you are in the place where you are right now, it's the temperature of that place is 60 degrees Celsius. That's not the case. Then Mars, that is minus 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. Hmm. Now, if you were to look at out of all the planets, look here. temperature of Venus, temperature of Mercury, then temperature of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Mars. The temperature of which planet is closest to us? Which the temperature of which
Venus.
planet is
The
closest to ours?
Venus, sir.
Mars. Mars. Right now, that is -20. That is more closer to us than the -60 or 800 degrees Celsius. Okay, thereby efforts are being
Yes, sir.
made to colonize the Mars. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then you have got Jupiter here. That is -60, Saturn -2020, Uranus -320, and -330 is the temperature of Neptune. आपके काम का क्या है यहाँ पे? Just remember the temperature of Venus. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Venus or Mars. Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right then. Now moving on. Now, which planet is this? The first planet which you see here,
Mercury, sir.
that is the Mercury.
Mercury, yeah.
What do we know about Mercury so far?
So it is the closest and the smallest planet in the solar system,
Good.
and
So this here is the Mercury.
it
Yeah.
completes one revolution around the sun, the quickest among all the planets.
Hmm. Smallest and closest
Yes, sir.
to the sun. Ahmed, what what do you know about Mercury? Yes, Ahmed. Hmm. Few other things ना, जैसे कि हम planets की भी बात कर रहे हैं. The
Sir,
planets
Ahmed
which
is
we are going
not
to
in the
talk
class.
about. He is not in the class. Okay.
No.
Okay, look here. Few things needs to be clear about all the planets which we are going to discuss. Like the planets have got no light of their own, right?
Yes, sir.
However, they shine and look like stars in the night sky. Why is it so? Because they
Sir, reflects the light of the
reflect
sun.
the light of the sun. Okay,
Yes,
the
sir.
light of the sun which falls on them, it reflects. That's why the planets also shine if you were to look at them using a telescope. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the reason why you don't see them shining like the moon, because
It's very
first
far.
thing is that it's very far, and it does not reflect the light in the way in which the moon reflects. Okay. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Getting it now? Okay.
Yeah.
So you tell me, like on a clear moonlight is on a clear moonless sky, what is the way to distinguish between a star and a planet? How do you
Sir,
distinguish between a star and planet?
planets might be much dimmer.
Okay. Look,
and-
Arhan, what do you think?
Sir, can I explain?
My question is that usually on a clear night, okay, if I were to ask you to distinguish between the planets and the star, कभी कभी क्या होता है, like in certain rare circumstances, you get to see the planets also.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
और
Yes,
suppose usually आप planets को नहीं देख पाते हैं sky में. So suppose if you were to use a telescope to see that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I have provided you with a
Yes, sir.
telescope and I ask you to look at the planets and look at the stars. How do you distinguish between them? Both of them will almost look similar
Yes, sir.
because both of them will illuminate. Both of them reflects the light. One has got its own light, while the planet will also reflect the light. So thereby both of
Sir,
them
we can
illuminates.
distinguish by the colors.
Sir, because of the color.
Simple concept. The simple concept is that stars twinkle while the
Because of the
planets do
size.
not.
Yes, yes, yes.
Stars twinkle, but the planets do not.
Yes, sir.
The stars in the night sky, the stars appear to twinkle, but the planets do
Yes,
not.
sir.
Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Now, talking about our very own planet, that is Earth. We know planets like our Earth and all the planets except Venus and Uranus. They
They move from west to
orbit
east.
exactly. They move from west to east. West to east. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the Venus and Uranus, they move in the direction of east to west.
East to west.
Remember that. So which one is the counterclockwise direction? This one.
Yes, sir. West to east.
Yes, sir.
That's why
Contra.
we can see sun coming from east.
Exactly. That is the reason why you get to see sunrise in the east while sunset in the west.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Sunset in the west direction. It is because Earth rotates from west to east. Okay. While the only two planets which revolves in the clockwise direction is Venus and Uranus. That is in the east to west direction. Remember
Yes,
this.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, like पहले हमने distinguish किया कि like the stars twinkle but the planets don't know. While what other ways are there to spot the difference between the two? Generally, we get to see now planets
craters.
change their position. Yes. Yeah.
The craters.
Craters, we can say that. Okay. But not all the only the rocky planets have got craters on them.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Only the rocky
Yes, sir,
planets
but
have got craters on them.
we can identify Jupiter by seeing the red.
Storm.
Some. Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's
sir.
some.
That is there. Also, you know, contrary to the stars, the planets change their position with respect to sun.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Like for example, जो हमारा group of star है, that is Saptarishi, that always appears to be revolving around the Polaris star, that is the North Pole.
Yes, sir.
North star, sorry, North star के around हमारा Saptarishi, that is Ursa Major, it always revolves. So contrary to the stars, now we get to see that planets keep changing their position. That is more observable.
Yes,
That
sir.
is more observable. Getting it? That is another characteristic to distinguish between the stars and planet. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay now.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And the planets, unlike the stars, they have got
Only
a fixed
satellites.
orbit. They have got fixed orbit in which they revolve around the sun. While
Yes, sir.
all the other stars, okay, which are very similar to our suns as well. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
they don't have any such orbit. They basically revolve on its own axis, rotate on its
Yes,
own
sir.
axis. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they could also be having orbit, but their orbit will be the galaxy to which they are around which they are revolving. Getting
Yes, sir.
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
स्टार्स भी गैलेक्सीज के रिवॉल्यूशन करते हैं. ओके ना?
Yes, sir.
सो गैलेक्सीज में जो रिवॉल्व कर रहे हैं, सो दे विल आल्सो बी हैविंग सम ऑर्बिट ना.
Yes, sir.
उसके
Yeah.
रिवॉल्यूशन की भी कुछ ऑर्बिट होगी. ओके,
Yes,
all
sir.
right then. So these are the important points we get to know about the planets, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, not all the planets have solid surfaces. सभी planets की solid surface नहीं होती है ना.
Like Jupiter and Saturn.
Jupiter, Saturn, they don't have the solid surface. These are the gaseous planet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the planets को भी हमने दो क्राइटेरिया में कर रखा है.
Terrestrial and Jovian.
Exactly. So planets are also of two types. One is the interior planet, दूसरा हमारा क्या है? Exterior planet. So interior planets में कौन कौन से planets आते हैं? Which planets are there?
Sir, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. And the exterior or the outer planet also. इसे outer planets
So
में कहते हैं.
Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus.
Exactly. These are the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and
Neptune.
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 Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. You see, these are mainly made up of hydrogen and helium gases, and not
Yes,
of
sir.
rock. ये जो planets होते हैं, they are made up of mainly hydrogen and helium.
Yes, sir.
They are called gas giants.
Exactly. That is why they are called as gas giants. Their size is also more than the size of the inner planets. Right now? Okay. And you know, all the planets, while they are moving on their own axis, they are moving around the sun also.
Yes,
Simple
sir.
thing है,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. And the time taken by planets to complete one revolution around the sun is called as period of
Period of revolution.
revolution,
Yes, sir.
right? So हर एक planet की अपनी अपनी period of revolution होंगी depending upon its distance from the sun,
Distance. Yes, sir.
right? Okay, so
Yeah.
as the distance of the planet from the sun will increase, its period of rotation will also increase, right?
Revolution, sir.
Yes,
Period of revolution.
period of revolution, yeah. So as the distance of the planet from the sun increases, period of revolution is also going to increase here.
Yes, sir.
Increases. Now, if you were to consider the distance of the planets from the sun,
Yes, sir.
you know, sometimes now when astronomers study the distance of the planets from the sun, the planets like the Mars or Jupiter or Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they are so far from the sun. They are so far from the sun that it's like we imagine that are they even part of the solar system? Hmm.
Yes, sir.
The distance is so much greater that many times it is we consider like are those planets even part of the solar system because distance बहुत distance है.
Yes,
Getting
sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, coming back to Mercury. So what else do we know about Mercury?
There no atmosphere.
It has got no atmosphere. It has no atmosphere. Second thing is there is no atmosphere on it.
It completes one revolution at the minimum time.
Completes one revolution in the minimum time
Minimum time. Compared to all other 8 planets.
because it is closest to
Less
the
than- Yes, sir.
sun.
Sun.
Okay, so it
Completes
It's a
takes
rocky planet.
88 days.
the least time to revolve around the sun. Okay, now you guys tell me, Mercury हमारा सबसे closest है sun के. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Then why
Yes,
is
sir.
it not that the surface temperature of Mercury is much more than the temperature of other planets?
So lack of atmosphere.
Thin atmosphere or almost no atmosphere is there.
Yes, sir.
है ना? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What else? Like if we have to talk about the composition, तो composition
sir.
की बात करते हैं. So the if we have to talk about the composition of the Mercury, what do we know about the composition of the Mercury? Simple
So,
thing,
no idea.
it is a rocky planet. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Has there been any missions sent on Mercury yet?
No, sir. I don't think so.
No,
Hmm?
sir.
No. और क्या इसके ऑर्बिट में भी कोई मिशन सेंड किया गया है अभी तक?
No, sir.
No,
No.
sir.
Okay then. That is
Sir,
all we know about Mercury.
is
Yes.
there that mark shown in the picture? Is it real?
Yeah, that is the picture of the Mars. Mercury, not Mars.
Yes, sir. So, is that mark real?
Okay, this mark. No, that
Yes,
is
sir.
not real. No, that is not real.
Okay.
This mark is not real. Okay now.
Yes,
Okay then. After Mercury, you have got Venus.
Venus.
That is the Venus. Almost looks like a little bit similar to Mercury. So what do we know about Venus? Venus के बारे में आपने सुना होगा. We call it as
What is
morning and
planet?
evening
Morning,
star
evening
also.
star. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Morning and evening star से हम कहते हैं. Then we say it is the hottest planet. The reason we already know,
Closest planet to Earth.
closest planet to the Earth. Okay, many times it
The
is called
twin
as the
planet of Earth.
exactly. That is what I was about to say. Twin planet of the Earth भी हम कहते हैं because of almost same size. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the things we know about it. Okay, talking about the temperature. अगर हम temperature की बात करते हैं, the temperature of Venus is 870 degrees Celsius.
70. Yes, sir.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, by the way, मर्करी में ये पॉइंट आप ऐड कर लें, टेम्परेचर is 800 degrees Celsius. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the things which we know about that, it is the closest planet to the Earth,
Yes, sir.
also called as Earth's twin. Okay. And it is the hottest planet. The reason being,
Carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, which causes greenhouse effect.
carbon dioxide and methane is also there. Okay.
Yes, sir, methane.
So also the atmosphere is quite thick.
Hmm.
Thereby it retains heat. So same green effect हमें वहां भी देखने को मिलता है.
Yes, sir. So how do we know about the composition of Venus and Mercury when we have not even went to there?
Look where we don't know about the composition of the Mercury so too much. Okay, हमें बहुत थोड़ा पता है Mercury के बारे में. Or talking about the Venus, in the orbit of the Venus, satellites have been sent. Okay,
Yes, sir.
satellites have been sent. Also, you know, जब भी satellites हमारी पास करती हैं solar system में, okay, when the satellites are sent into the space, if the satellite is suppose sent to the Mars, if a satellite is sent to the orbit of the Mars, okay, so once it passed across the orbit of the Mars, then it will move on to the orbit of another planet. Okay,
Yes, sir.
then it will pass on to the orbit of next planet. Okay, so so the different planets that it encounters on its path, okay, now then it studies the certain properties of that planet's of surface or its atmosphere. Okay,
Yes, sir.
जैसे ही satellites इनकी orbit के orbit में के range में आती हैं, then it somewhat captures the picture of that planet and also studies if there is some atmosphere, it will study the composition present in them. In
Yes, sir.
that manner, we get to know about it, right?
Yeah.
By the way, India is also about to send a mission on send a mission to study about sun. What is the name of that
Yes,
mission,
sir.
by the way?
I don't know.
Arhan?
It's something called Aryan.
Aryabhatta.
It starts from A, that is correct. It's Aditya L1.
Yes, Aditya. Yeah.
Aditya L1. Okay.
Yes,
By
sir.
the way, in your school, do you guys have GK contest, general knowledge contest?
No, sir. Not
No.
I don't know.
What about you, Arhan? आपके स्कूल में होता है जीके कॉन्टेस्ट?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, look at the next picture here. See here. What do we observe here?
The moon and Venus.
The moon and
And the
Venus.
Moon and Venus.
sudden early sunrise.
No, early sunrise and early sunset, that is a different thing. वो अलग concept है.
Yeah.
Here you get to see that you are seeing the morning star and evening star. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now it is a planet, but why we call it as the morning star and the evening star? ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं हम?
Because in the southern hemisphere we can see it in the morning, and in the eastern hemisphere we can see it in the evening.
Okay,
Yes,
that is also correct. But why we call it as morning star or evening star, and why not morning planet or evening planet?
So
Yeah.
due to its temperature.
No, not due to its temperature.
So bright. The stars are also so bright.
It almost, when we look at it from Earth, it almost looks like a star.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it looks similar to all the other stars that you see in the night. Okay, and
Sir,
thereby
but,
we call.
we can see Venus. Suppose we are in his western hemisphere, we can see Venus every night sunrise.
Venus.
Yes, sir.
No. Okay, now the whether you will be able to see the morning star or the evening star, it depends upon the place where you are on the Earth. Okay, now
Okay.
on that factor it depends. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. No, some more interesting point about Venus. If you were to look at the diameter of the Venus,
It
what
is
is the
same as
diameter?
Earth.
Almost same as the Earth. Not exact, थोड़ा सा difference है. Okay, so diameter of this Venus, this distance we are talking about. Okay, that is almost 12,100 kilometer, 12,100 kilometer. That is a diameter. Talking about
Yes, sir.
its distance from the sun. ये sun से कितनी दूरी पर है? So we say that in terms of kilometer, if I were to find it out,
Yes, sir.
distance from sun, it is almost 108 multiplied 10 raised to the power 4 kilometer. Okay,
Okay.
that is the distance of Venus from the sun.
Fine. Yes, sir.
Getting it? Now if I were to ask you like ये rotation के लिए कितना time लेता है and revolution के लिए कितना time लेता है, so I'd say that the time period of
It
revolution,
revolves backward.
yes,
It revolves backward, and it takes very much time for revolution.
very good. Okay, almost if you have to look at ना, जो इसका revolution and rotation का time period है, almost like close है. Okay,
Yes,
if I were to talk about the revolution time, Arhan, आपने पढ़ा है how much of what is the revolution time of Venus? Is it 225 days? 225 days है हमारा. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
And the time it takes to rotate on its axis, that is 243 days.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so see the difference between the time here. Revolution
Yeah.
time and rotation time. सिर्फ 18 days का difference है. Interesting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now talking about its mass compared to Earth's mass. Okay,
Yes,
compared to Earth's mass, if you were to compare it,
Almost
if
same.
almost same नहीं, थोड़ा सा difference है. If I were to consider the Earth and Venus here, अगर मैं one के terms में अगर compare करता हूँ, if I were to compare the mass of the Venus and Earth in terms of one, if suppose I say the mass of the Earth is 1, so the mass of Venus is 0.8. ठीक है?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, a few classes back we talked about the moons of the different planets. Does it have any moon?
No, sir.
No,
Mercury and Venus does not have any moon.
No moon. It doesn't have any moon. All right now. So that
Yes,
is
sir.
all we know about Venus so far, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So few other things, हमने और भी important points हैं, like it is also the brightest planet now.
It's also
Right.
brightest planet.
So it is the brightest planet in the sky. ये
And
हमारे sky में
hottest planet.
hottest planet also. Okay, it
Yes,
is the
sir.
hottest planet. It is the closest planet to the sun. It is called it is also the twin planet of the sun. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it has got a
Yes, sir.
dense atmosphere which comprises which consists of almost carbon dioxide.
Yes,
Almost 90%
Yes,
of the
sir.
composition of the atmosphere of the Venus is only carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. Okay then. So if you were to see like after moon, it is said to be the brightest planet, brightest object in the sky. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
so you know,
The pole star is not the brightest. One of the
yeah,
brightest. The pole star is not one of the brightest star.
yeah, it is the brightest star also. Okay, but here we are not talking about star. अगर हम solar system में planets and moons के respect में बात करें, so it is the brightest object in the night sky. Okay, except
Yes,
the
sir.
moon. Okay,
Yeah.
so the reason why it is bright, you know, 75% of the light that it receives from the sun.
It
I mean,
reflects back.
100% of the light that it receives from the sun, 75% of that light is reflected back. इस वजह से ये इतना bright appear होता है. Getting
Yes,
it now?
sir.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay then, let's talk about our very own planet, that is the blue planet, Earth.
Yes, sir.
What are the interesting things we know about?
So it is the
Talking about
only
its
planet where
numbering
life
from the
can
sun.
exist,
Hmm.
and
Only
it has
planet that supports life.
it is at the perfect
It
distance.
has a
That is
suitable
why
atmosphere.
life exists.
Mm-hmm. Okay, starting from its position in the space, in the solar system.
Yes, sir.
It is the third planet from the sun.
Yes, sir.
It is the third planet from the sun,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And it is the only planet in the solar system on which life is known to exist.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So, only planet where life is known to exist. We don't say that it is the only planet where life is found. We say that it is the only planet where life is known to exist. As per our intelligence, we know of only this planet where life exists. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Whether
Yeah.
there is any other planet in the Milky Way galaxy or in any other galaxy, we
Hmm.
don't know yet whether there is any other planet also where life is
Hmm.
supported. Okay.
Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
So the two planets which lie between the sun and the earth, what are they, by the way?
Mercury and
So
Venus.
Mercury, Venus.
Mercury and Venus. Okay. What is the shape of all the planets and also the earth?
So spherical, almost
Spherical.
spherical.
Almost spherical. That is spherical in shape. And
Yes, sir.
when we view the earth from the outer space, what color do we see?
Blue and green,
So
sir.
blue.
Blue and green. Blue, so you can see some green patches also. Thoda visible hai.
Yes, sir. Due to
Okay.
the furnace.
Hmm. So blue and green, that is the color of the earth. Getting it
Yes,
now?
sir.
So why do we see it as blue and green? Because
Yes,
of the
sir.
reflection of
Reflection of
sunlight
light.
from water and land. Getting it
Yes,
now?
sir.
Okay.
Water.
If
Yes,
I were
sir.
to talk about the distance of the earth from the sun, at what distance it is from the sun?
150 million kilometers.
Exactly. The distance is 150 million kilometer. Getting it now?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah.
Hmm. Important minerals found on earth are oxygen. Okay. Then you have got different type of metals,
Yes,
iron,
sir.
magnesium, sodium. The list is very long. Okay, just to
Hmm.
mention few important points. Okay, etc.
Yes, sir.
Talking about its time taken to rotate on its own axis and the
24 hours.
revolution,
24 hours.
24 hours. Good. And the revolution time period,
365
365 and half.
days.
365 and 365 and
Half.
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 Yes, sir.
Half days. Good. Okay. Hmm. Like if I were to talk about the composition of water here, it has got large quantity of water,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yes,
And
sir.
in fact, it is the
72%.
only planet. Hmm. In fact, it is the only planet to have lots of
Water.
water. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
And this
Yes,
is
sir.
and this water helps in the evolution and maintenance of life on Earth, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So there can be no life without water. Hmm. And the Earth has got a suitable temperature range.
Yes, sir. 60 degrees
Factors
Celsius.
that
60
support
days.
life, it is, yeah, suitable temperature range. Suitable temperature range hai. Then water availability,
Presence of
Habitable atmosphere.
yes, sir.
habitable
Atmosphere.
atmosphere. Good. Habitable atmosphere. Had there been some toxic gases present in the atmosphere, life wouldn't be possible then also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then
Yes,
you
sir.
see जितने भी planets हैं, the planets that you see
Yes, sir.
so far, as per my knowledge, there hasn't been any planets in which there's a layer of ozone present. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
ozone,
sir.
the Earth has got a protective blanket
Ozone
of
layer.
ozone layer also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Protective. Why? In what way it helps?
So it prevents the
Sun
harmful
radiation.
ultraviolet rays to come to Earth.
Hmm. So it has got a preventive blanket of ozone layer that prevents the UV rays. How does it prevent? Basically absorbs it.
Yes, sir.
Right now?
Ozone
Hmm.
So it also prevents radiation of the
Yeah.
sun.
Mm-hmm. It absorbs the most of the harmful UV rays that comes from the sun and radiation. Ultraviolet
Yes, sir.
rays हम कहते हैं या फिर ultraviolet radiations कहते हैं. Both are same thing.
Yes, sir. The same.
Okay, now they are same. So ultraviolet radiation that is coming from the sun, it is absorbed by the UV rays.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, ozone layer.
Oh,
And
sir.
ozone layer is basically what? A layer of O3 molecules.
Hmm.
Oxygen
Ozone.
O2 होता है, ozone is O3.
O3.
Remember that. So
Yes,
3
sir.
atoms of oxygen makes up a ozone.
Ozone.
Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Few other things that we know about Earth. Earth rotates anti-clockwise direction, in anti-clockwise direction.
Yes, sir.
Right now?
It
So
is
from
inclined
here
at,
to here, that is
at an
from west
angle of
to
27.3 degree.
exactly. So if you were also to look at the axis of the Earth, अगर हमने एक perpendicular line draw की, okay, the axis of the Earth is tilted at what degree?
27.8.
23 and a half now.
So in my book
Earth
it was
की,
27.8.
I'm talking about the tilt of the Earth's axis. Tilt.
Yes, sir.
It's 23 and a half.
Okay.
ये 23 and a half होता है. Okay now.
Yes, sir.
ये जो मैंने line draw की है ना, that is the perpendicular plane which I have drawn here.
Hmm.
Perpendicular plane. So with this, the axis of the Earth forms a 23 and a half degree.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that is the North Pole, that is the South Pole, and that is the Southern Hemisphere, that is the Northern Hemisphere.
Northern hemisphere.
Okay now.
Yes, sir.
Okay then, talking about the rotation, the Earth revolves around the Sun while it rotates on its axis as well. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
so
sir.
whether rotation is nothing but it's like spinning. Okay,
Yes, sir.
on an imaginary axis. See, it's not like there's a stick present in the North Pole and the South Pole. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
an imaginary line, okay, which passes
Yes,
through its
sir.
northern and the southern poles.
Southern Hemisphere.
Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
So it,
Yes, sir.
it completes its one rotation in 24 hours, okay, which we call as one Earth day. Okay,
Yes, sir.
like जब भी हम calculation करते हैं for other planets also, okay, as in the case of we were talking about Venus. So when I say the 225 days now, I say 225 Earth days.
Earth days. Yes, sir.
Earth days के respect में बात करते हैं 243 Earth days. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Because there the meaning of one day is somewhat different.
Yes,
Okay now.
sir.
By the way, if you were to talk about one day on Earth and one day on Venus, which one will be more longer if you were to talk in terms of one
Venus.
Earth day? Venus, obviously. इनकी rotation के time period 243 days है, while here on Earth
Yes,
it's
sir.
just 24 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you were to stand on one side of the Venus, okay, you will be, suppose you are standing on the dark side of the Venus, okay, so you will be able to see light only after 243 days,
Yes, sir.
okay, or you will
Yes,
have
sir.
to travel to the other side of the Venus, okay.
Yes, sir.
But how someone will go there? The temperature is almost the temperature is 870 degrees Celsius now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
870 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now आप question पूछोगे, sir, it is 870 degrees Celsius, but sun having thousands of surface temperature, how we are able to send the satellites there close to its orbit? Because
Yes,
the
sir.
thing is now we have developed certain materials which are very good insulators.
Insulators. Yes, sir.
Okay, that is why we are able to
Yes,
go
sir.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. So these are the things which we know about Earth so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
By the way, हिंदी में अर्थ को हम क्या कहते हैं? What do we call Earth in Hindi, by the way, guys?
Prithvi, sir.
धरती.
Prithvi, exactly, or Dharti. Okay then. That is it all about the planet Earth. Okay, so from Mars we will continue in the next class. Okay,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Yeah.
Okay. So remember
Yes,
the
sir.
points we have discussed so far. Okay.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
like few points were remaining. Let me quickly write that.